So, from where to start? Um, we finally got to the best Star Wars movie, which is the holiday special. Even better than the New Hope. Even better than the whole original trilogy. There is not a single Star Wars movie that can beat the holiday special. Oh god, I don't even know from where to start. Like when I was watching this, I searched a little bit just to try to understand what they had in mind for doing this movie, and I discovered some things like they made this after the New Hope because they wanted to keep the franchise alive in people's head until like they made the next movie, the Empire Strikes Back. So they had to do something in between those movies, so people didn't forget about the Star Wars movies. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe it would be better to not make this, but yeah. Um, I wasn't there. I think that's kind of obvious. So I don't know if this movie did what he was supposed to do. Like, as I said, the main goal was to keep the franchise alive. So, since I wasn't even alive when they released this, I can't tell if like it was a good decision to make this. But yeah, I don't think it was needed. Like they could have just made the New Hope and waited until the Empire Strikes Back. I don't think anyone would forget about this franchise if nothing were made between those movies. And I tell that because the first one was released in 1977. The holiday special was released in 1978, and then the Empire Strikes Back was released in 1980. So there is still like 2 years without any content, and people didn't forget about the franchise. And again, between the Empire Strikes Back and the Return of the Jedi, there is other 3 years gap between them. So I don't think people would have forgotten about the franchise if the holiday special didn't existed, and even now, like most people just ignored that. Like on IMDb, the New Hope have 1.5 million votes, 1.5 million ratings, and the Empire Strikes Back have 1.4, and the Return of the Jedi have 1.1, while the holiday special have 17,000 reviews. Not like written reviews, but like the score from 1 to 10. So I don't think much people saw this movie. So I'm not really sure if it achieved what it was supposed to achieve. But again, I was not there to be sure about it. Um, so going to the movie, it, it's fine, I guess. Like it's clearly a bad movie, but I still think I've seen worse things. So it's not literally the worst. There is some stuff on lower tiers and the holiday special. Um, it uh, it does not fit the Star Wars theme. I can tell that, but I don't think that would be enough to consider this as the worst um, movie ever made. So, before I start talking about the movie, like what happens on it, I just want to point out that there is like three videos posted on YouTube about not about, like it's just the movie. Like if you go to YouTube, um, there is three different people posted this movie, and it still didn't got um, the MCA strike. So there is some, like, in the comment sections there is like some jokes about if Disney wants to strike uh, those videos and take them down, they would have to first admit that they own this movie, which they will never do. So like even Caravan of Courage is on Disney streaming platform, but this movie is not, even though they own it. So yeah. Now going to the movie, it's kind of funny, the intro, because there is the Star Wars logo on the beginning of the movie, like every other Star Wars movie, but this one was not updated. It is still the old logo, and the visuals for the ships, like at the beginning of the movie, Han is fleeing from some Imperial ships, and the visuals also didn't got updated on that scene. Like we can see the old ships still. So the movie is about Chewie and Solo trying to get to Chewie's home planet so he can enjoy the day of life, a Wookiee holiday where they celebrate life, I guess. Another interesting point of this is that the day of life returns in some other media. Like there is some comic books where they talk about the day of life. It's not like something that they tried to bury um, really deep, because, like, as I said, some authors have mentioned it on their works. So Chewie is trying to get to his home planet to enjoy this holiday, and on the home planet we will see Chewie's wife, the son, and Chewie's father trying to not get how's it called? Not get sent to jail by the Imperials. And that's like the whole plot of the movie. It's Chewie trying to get to his home planet and his family trying to not get into jail by the Imperials that are trying to find rebels on that planet. Um, most of the time we will not be seeing Chewie, just we will be just focusing on his family. So this this movie makes me remember of some magazines I had when I was a kid. Um, they were like they were monthly subscription based, so you would pay for the service every month, and every month you would receive these magazines that had some um, I don't think I can call games, but in the lack of a better word, I'll use that. So there were some games in the magazines that we could play, like there was some um, maze puzzles uh, to complete. There was like some pages we could color, and some of those magazines had themes. Like there was a magazine that had the theme of dinosaurs, so you would monthly pay for that service, and every month you would receive these magazines, and on them um, there would be the there would be some stuff written, like let's say it's a dinosaur magazine, so there will be some pages with text teaching kids about dinosaurs, but there would be also some pages with games, like as I said, maze puzzles. We could complete like some pages to color, and like all of them based on the theme of the magazine. Like the color pages will be like a drawing of a dinosaur, so you could color them. A cat just walked near me, and I just lost the focus a little bit. Um, so I'm saying that because that's kind of what this movie made me think of. It is like it is like one of those magazines. We'll have the general stuff, the Star Wars general stuff, which is the plot of him trying to get to Han and Chewie, trying to get to the planet, and Chewie's family trying to survive the Imperial Guards. But we will also have some moments, um, like where we have the games we can play, like on the magazines. But since this is a movie, it's something that we can't interact with. So we just watch the characters doing the activities. And now that I talk about it, I just remember of a Netflix show that everyone lost their minds because of. I don't think I can pronounce the name, but it was something like Bandersnatch or something like that, which was a choose your own adventure type of show, type of game. And people around me started to lose their minds because Netflix does TV shows, and now they are making games. And like I first got like when I first heard of that, I got like kind of surprised about it because I was expecting a real game, and then like when I finally played it, um, I got kind of disappointed because it was just a choose your own adventure type of game, and it was even not a really complex one. Um, so I'm saying that because if this movie, the holiday special, were made on that format, like a choose your own adventure type of stuff, it could have worked better. We would have like the main plot, and then the um in between the scenes that make the plot go forward, we could have like these moments where we could choose what the characters would do. Um, but it's a 1978 movie, so they didn't had. I I want to say that they didn't have the technology to do that because I think it could be possible, but not like to. It wouldn't be on TV, which I believe it's how this movie got released in a like in as a TV movie, like a movie that didn't went to theaters. It got released straight to TV. Um, so yeah, going to the movie. So like at the beginning of it, they just establish the characters. Like we show Han and Chewie fleeing the Imperials, and then they cut it to the planet, the Wookiees planet, and they establish the characters. And like it does not take much time until we have um the first break where one of the characters doing um stops interacting with other stuff and they just go play something. And that's the moment that I was thinking of, like it could have some um interactive stuff, like we could choose like how the characters interact with these games. Like it wouldn't be enough to save this, but I don't know, maybe it could work, maybe it couldn't. So in this first break we just see Chewie's son watching like a circus presentation. um, After that we go back to the main plot. Luke appears because Chewie's wife called Luke to see if he knew where Chewie was, and there is a great scene. Um, it I think it is gonna be easy to find on YouTube. Like if you search for the holiday special Luke's appearance, I think you can find that. Um, but Luke basically tells Chewie's wife that she have no reason to be worried about Chewie because he saw Chewie fleeing from Imperials. Um, he saw Chewie fleeing from Imperials other times, so he could definitely do it again. And then he says, he tells Chewie's wife to put a smile on her face because there is no reason for her to be sad on the life day. And the costume smiling is truly something. I don't know if it's something good, it's something bad, it's just something. It's really strange because like I don't think we ever saw a Wookiee smiling at any other moment in this franchise. And like I would take a angry Wookiee over a happy Wookiee at any time. It's better. It's easier to deal with an aggr- it's easier to deal with an aggressive Wookiee than with a happy Wookiee. So there is this strange smile that she puts in her face, and there is like a close-up shot to it. Yeah. So after talking with Luke, we have another break where we see a shop. There is the owner of the shop, and the Imperial Guard enters the shop and he looks at stuff like to buy, and it's just that there is there is the shop and Imperial Guard enters it and he starts to look at stuff, and at the end of it he just decides to rob one of the things um, that were to be sold. And what I think it's interesting in this moment is that Chewie's wife calls the shop owner at this moment. Um, and the shop owner it's part of the rebellion. So Chewie's wife calls him to see if he knows where Chewie could be, but there is this Imperial Guard in the shop. So the shop owner tries to communicate through codes, which I thought was an interesting detail. So like he tells her that the carpet that she bought um, was gonna be delivered to her at that same day, but that she would have to wait a little bit for the carpet to be delivered to her house because there was only one employee taking care of that delivery. So the employee was working solo, and he had to take the carpet by hand. So that was an interesting detail on this movie. So yeah, even on the worst things, there is still some interesting aspects on it, and this is one of them. After that, we go back to another break, um, where Chewie's wife uh, is just stops to watch a cooking show, and in the cooking show, um, is another thing that I thought was kind of funny because the woman teaching how to do the dishes, at first she appears normal, but as the cooking show goes on, the dish starts to get more complicated to do. So she just reveals that she have a third arm, and that was kind of funny. It surprised me. That was not the word I was looking for, but yeah, it will work. Um, and then a couple minutes after, she reveals a fourth arm. It adds nothing to the story, but it's kind of funny. It's like the coloring pages. You won't learn anything from that, but it's an interesting activity to do. Um, After that, we go back to the main plot just for a little short time after we get to another break. So at this moment, the shop owner gets to Chewie's house, um, and he have some presents because it's Life Day, which is kind of Christmas. Um, and one of the presents is a virtual reality glasses that he gives to Chewie's father, and Chewie just starts to Chewie's father starts to watch something at that device, which is kind of strange because what he's watching is this black woman um, singing. But before she starts singing, how can I explain that without um, YouTube putting me on a watch list? Before she starts singing, she does some stuff that you would see only on the orange YouTube. Or on the other tube, the one that is red. So yeah, she talks about like she being a creation of of Chewie's father's mind, and yeah, it's kind of awkward. So after that, she does a musical show. Um, I don't know. I think if I saw that when I was a child, I wouldn't understand the sexual tension on that scene. But I will totally be scared of this woman because she's really close to the screen. Um, so yeah, after that's a very long musical scene, but after that, um, Leia and C-3PO calls the Wookiees to ask about Chewie and Solo because like it's been some time since they left. Um, so they wanted to know if they had arrived in safety. It's just that there is nothing much that is added. But after this moment, it's finally when we get to see some. I would say it's finally where we get to see some action, but we see something. Which is when the Imperials get into Chewie's house because they are trying to find for rebels. And there is like a little bit of tension, because as like the same happens on the New Hope. I talked about when Luke is trying to communicate with R2D2 to stop the trash compactor, and but like R2 is surrounded by Imperial guards, so if Luke talks too much, the Imperials will hear him, and they could like arrest R2. So the same kind of happens here. The Imperials are at the home, and it's Chewie's house. So there is a chance that they will find like illegal goods in the house, or like one of the rebels could call to Chewie's house. Like Luke could call again to check if Solo had arrived there. And the Imperials would see that, and they would know that that was a rebel house. So there is a little bit of tension at it, but just that they don't develop they don't develop it more than this. Again, not the words I was trying to find, but yeah, it will work. Um, After the Imperials get there, we have a break. There is another musical show, and going back to the plot, nothing much. Still, still nothing much happens. Just the Imperials looking at the house, and there is these breaks um, between the like main plot and like these activities. Like there is these breaks. We finally get to the cartoon, so that's another scene of tension because the Imperials are searching the house for rebel material, and the kid, Chewie's son, starts watching a cartoon which shows the rebels. So it's a story about the rebels defeating the Imperials. And another thing that is easy to find, just if you search for Star Wars Holiday Special cartoon, you would find it. So it's like a 10 minutes long show, and at the middle of it, there is like a break because one of the Imperials see that the kid is watching something. So he approaches the kid, but he like changes from the cartoon to another completely different thing. So the Imperials don't know like what he was watching. Like they don't know he was watching a Rebels cartoon, like a this cartoon where the rebels are the good guys. It's a nice cartoon. It's the first appearance of Boba, which is kind of funny. And I think that's canon now. Because on the Boba TV show, it seems that Boba mentions something that happens on this cartoon. So the holiday special, it's canon again, which is kind of funny. So there is the cartoon, there is a, and then we go back to the main plot, and the kid stops watching this cartoon and he starts working on a communication device, which he will later use to mislead the Imperials out of his house. So he's working at this communication device. He does that for quite some time, like 10 minutes or so. And then later on, he manages to make that device work, and he sends a message to the Imperial guards telling that they are needed somewhere else. So they leave the house, they finally leave the house, but they leave one stormtrooper behind just to keep an eye on the Wookiees and to see if like he can find a rebel material at that house. Like just to be safe, they leave this stormtrooper there. Han and Chewie finally get to the house. The stormtrooper discovers that the kid was the one that sent the message. There is like 2 minutes of a fight. And that's kind of the end of the movie. There is the Life Day celebration where the Wooks dress in these red robes and walk into the light. I still don't know what that means. Like they died, they the Wookiees die every year and get resurrected right after it. I don't know what that means. They just walk into this round spherical light there is Leia's musical show. So the moment where she officially becomes a Disney princess because she's singing in this movie. And that's kind of it. There is another thing that I left to mention now at the end. At the like there was the cartoon that was really good, but there was another scene that I really liked. One of the activity breaks. At a point in the movie, the Wookiees start to watch a TV show that depicts life in Tatooine. And this TV show is about a bar, like there is this bar, and it's just showing how things work in there. So at the point of that show, the Imperials decide to close every bar at Tatooine, and then there is a musical show about the bar getting closed, and it's a really good song. I already I already listened to it a couple times because it's nice. It's like the bar owner singing about the bar getting closed by the Imperials. And the lyrics is just like, we need to close the bar, so you do that, but first, you guys can have another round on the house. So it's a really simple lyrics, but the way it's made makes it really good. It's like the cartoon. The movie is really bad, like it's a shitty movie, but the people that were the people that was working on those two breaks, both the cartoon and the bar scene, they took the assignment very seriously, and they managed to create something nice. So if you go to YouTube and search for this holiday special, there is a interesting comment about this, comparing those two scenes with the original Star Trek TV show. So the original Star Trek TV show have really bad visuals. Like the aliens are clearly people using a costume. The planets are like, you can see that the planets are just a studio, like a indoors studio with some rocks scattered around and like some bushes. So it's really fake. Like nothing there seems real. And like one of the biggest problems on the original TV show for me is the doors. So on the USS Enterprise, we have some automatic doors that are just paper. You can see that like they are this this foldable. Again, not the word I was trying to find, but like the doors are made of the doors are made of like this really thin material that you can fold, And you can see that in some scenes. Like it's a really light material, so sometimes where the doors open or closes, it wobbles a little bit. So the scenarios are really fake, and you can easily spot that. But the actors took the assignment very seriously. They act like those are real things, even though they it's like everything is clearly made out of paper and everything is put together with glue and gum. But the actors take that really seriously, and for sometimes it seems believable. And that's like one of the things that made the original TV show something great. And this happens on these two moments of the holiday special. Both the cartoon and this bear scene, the bar scene, had good actors that took the assignment very seriously, and they tried to do the best they could with the material that they received. So yeah, if you didn't saw the holiday special, I don't advise you to watch that. But you can like search these two moments and you can have a little bit of fun with it. Both the cartoon and the bar musical. The cartoon, I know you can find it um, on YouTube, but the bar scene I didn't search it. Like I know you can find the musical part of it, but there is a couple of dialogues before the music starts, and I don't know if you can find that on YouTube. But even though you can just search for the holiday special and skip ahead until you find the musical part, the the bar scene. It's like more to the end of the movie. Um, so yeah, I think that's all I could. That's all I have to talk about this awesome movie, one of the best movies on the Star Wars franchise. Um, but I can say that it is. At least it's better than the Rise of Skywalker, which is uh, not something very hard to achieve.